Hello everyone, this is Muted and Nuts, and today we'll be continuing our beginner-friendly Road to OSCP video series. And today we'll be looking at another Hack the Box machine, that is Devel. And Devel is a Windows machine, and it is relatively easy. So let's just quickly get started with it. So first thing, what I always do is I run an auto recon scan. Okay, so auto recon is basically a nmap tool, and it's not exactly nmap tool, but it runs an nmap scan first, and it finds open ports and services, and it does additional scans on them and gives you the results. Okay, and it has a nice structured directory as well. It creates that for you for better, convenience and everything. So I'll be using this auto recon, and I'll be running it as sudo because I want to run it as root, because the udb scan does not run otherwise because it requires root privileges. And I'll be using the Python 3 environment over here. I'll be running this file using Python 3. I'll be giving the directory where autorecon file is present. Then I will be giving the target IP address, that is 10.10.10.5 in our Devil's case. And I'll be giving the O switch, that is output directory, and I'll be just mentioning the directory where I want to save the file. So I already did run the scan, I don't want to run this again. So let's just quickly go and look at the full TCP nmap scan. And over here we see that we have port 21 open and port 80 open. Okay, port 21 we have FTP present, and we have anonymous FTP access over here. It says over here we have anonymous FTP login. So now what it actually logged into the system, and it gave us the information of the files present over there. It actually showed us IIS start, welcome, and ESP net, some directory present over there. Okay, so we have FTP running over here. So let's just quickly go and look what FTP is about, what information we get over there. So we'll just quickly go and do FTP, and we connected over here. I'll just give the name as anonymous. You cannot leave it blank, you have to give anonymous. Okay, you give the password as blank, just hit enter, don't enter anything. That's it, and we are into the FTP. So now we see that it's the same what we saw in our scan result over here. Oops, okay, for some reason something. So we see the scan result, and it's the same thing what is present. Okay, just to dir. Okay, so now it looks like we have the FTP access of this folder. Let's try going back. Let's press cd dir. Okay, we cannot go back. Okay, so let's just try it again. We cannot go back, we are locked over here. So FTP service, file transfer protocol, so it's sharing one particular folder probably, and we are locked over there. So we cannot go beyond behind that folder. So what we'll do is we'll just quickly go and run a go buster scan, because the port 80 is open as well, right? So let's just quickly go and check what is there on port 80. And we see that we come up with some page over here, and we just quickly go because there's not much useful information. We click on this, we are redirected to an IIS page over here, okay, which are not useful, and it's not in domain as well. So don't guys, please don't go and look at the domain over here, and please don't go and try to enumerate things over here, or try to find vulnerability, or try to exploit things, okay, because this is a different domain altogether. So let's just be over here itself, play safe, and we look over your page source. You don't find anything useful. So let's just quickly close this, and we'll run a GoBuster scan. So in auto recon now, the GoBuster for some reason it does not run successfully. So I just had to run it manually using the common txt file, and I found this ASP net result over here. Okay, so guys who don't know how to run GoBuster, okay, I'll just quickly show you all. So you use go first, you locate the common text. It's present in Kali, so just locate common text. Okay, and we'll use this derb word list, okay, over here. And if you see this word list, what it's about, so it basically a word list, right? Different names are present. It will try XML over here, it will try the small XML, small caps, it will try XML over here. So what it will do is basically try this XML, XML, okay, it will keep doing this. It's just for try to find, and it will keep sending different requests, and it will check the response, and it will, based on the response, GoBuster will tell you that, hey, okay, this particular directory exists or it does not. So basically you run a GoBuster scan, you give the directory switch, and then you give U for URL, so you can mention HTTP this, and the IP address over here, and then you can give the word list, okay, and the word list, which is the common one, and you give the output switch wherever you want to save the file. Okay, and there is a medium word list as well, which is like has around like 2 lakh of entries, so it takes time to run. So first probably always use the common text because it has only 4,600 entries or something. So first run that, and if you guys don't find anything useful, then run the medium text. So I think for this I just ran the 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 common text, and I found this ASP.NET. So what does this mean? What does this indicate? Is this thing over here? I'll just quickly show you all. So it indicates that it found a directory over here, ASP.NET. Okay, and if you guys can check out the FTP result as well, it says that we found a directory over here. That means this particular file present over here, is start htm, that also would be present. So let's just quickly go and validate. So that's the first thing you should do, right? You found something similar, you just do this. So it's actually loads out to the same page itself. This is the HTML file which is where it loads out. So that means what is happening over here is, we'll look at this diagram over here. Okay, so now consider Windows machine. By default, all the Windows machine, like Windows 7 and later, not the Windows XP because they don't have that user folder. So will probably there will be multiple folders in C drive. I've not listed all, I've just listed a few. So like Windows folder, program files x86, and there's a net folder if you're running some web browser or something. So I don't know the actual contents of the Devel machine. I'm just making a guess because this is what is present, right? Like how do you have a desktop folder for each user? So that way these are the default directories which are present. So now what will happen? This FTP, it looks like, since we cannot go back to a directory, it looks like this service FTP is running in this directory over here, root directory. Okay, and probably inside over here after ASP.NET client there'll be multiple directories, so you can list out as that as well, and you can check and enumerate things. But I did not find anything useful. You guys can go and check it out. So we are only limited over here. When we try to go back, we get the cd and two dots, it was not going behind, right? So we are limited over here. So FTP service is running only over here, and this looks like the web browser service. So we just have limited information now. We have the FTP service running, we have this thing present. Now what we'll do is, we'll just try and see that if we can put a file to FTP. Usually this should not be the case, we should not be putting any file, but first we'll try and create a file. So to create a file, you guys can probably create it from here as well. We'll just use echo, and we'll use kindly subscribe, and we'll try and save it as test.txt. So what this command, it's very easy. You can actually go over here and create it as well. Just create document empty file. That's the easiest way, if people are used to Windows. But if you want to create it this way, so just echo. Echo means it will echo anything what is present inside. So it will take this command. So this whole command, what it will do is, it will take this kindly subscribe, and it will save it to the file test.txt. Let's just do this, and let's do cat txtx. Okay, see, this is what it does basically. Kindly subscribe, that's it. Okay, so let's just chmod it. We'll give permission 777 421, that is rewrite execute. So 4 is for read, and then 2 is for write, and 1 is for execute. So we get 777 because we want all the permissions, because it's nothing, what do you say, it's not critical file, so we can give that. Okay, so we do that, and now we'll log into a FTP. Okay, we'll give the user as anonymous. Okay, password as blank. We'll just enter. We come over here. We have the files present. So what we'll do is, we'll use. Okay, I think. Yeah, so if you go in help, it will show the list of commands you can use in FTP. Okay, so which command we are looking for over here particularly is the put command. Okay, so if you guys can go and check out put command basically will try and upload a file in the FTP service. So once you upload a file in the FTP service, we'll probably have a file over here. Okay, something like that. Let's just quickly go and look at it. Let's just do put and give the file name, that is test.txt. It was successful. It says command successful. Okay, by send. So in order to confirm it that the file is gone, you can go to the web browser and use this, and it says kindly subscribe. Okay, so quickly go to the, sorry, oops, my bad. Go to inspect element and go to network and reload the page. This page, right? You're just reloading it. That's it. go to developer tools and go to network over here tab and go check out the methods over here. So you get one get method for test.txt file, right? And if you see over here, it says ASP.NET powered by ASP.NET. That means we can use a ASPX reverse shell payload probably, since we can now upload a file over here. Okay, so we can probably use our reverse, we can create a reverse shell using ASPX and we can upload it over in the FTP folder. Okay, so first thing what we'll do is we'll just quickly go and create our exploit. Okay, so we'll use MSF Venom for that. We'll give the P switch for payload. We'll use the Windows shell reverse TCP payload. Oops, my bad. And then we'll give the L host, that is 10.10.14.20. That is my attack machine IP address. Okay, then we'll give the L port, that is 4444, and we'll be giving the F switch for the file type, what kind of file we need. So we need an ASPX file, right? So we'll give that. We'll give the output as reverse, just give reverse probably, just reverse. Okay, so we'll give the output as reverse.aspx. We'll give the O switch for that and just press enter and we'll just wait. Take some time, like few seconds. Yeah, so it's already ready, right? So we'll chmod it again, same 4 to 1 for all the users and reverse ASPX. Okay, so now we have the file present over here. We'll go over here to our FTP. We'll check. Okay, so FTP has a really short login duration, so if you don't use it, so it will kick you out. So that means it will log you off. So login again. We see our test.txt file present over here, right? So now we'll just quickly go and use the put command and we'll use reverse ASPX. That means it's successful. Let's just quickly check it is present over here. Yes, it is present over here. And let's go over here and right before that we need our netcat listener. I'll just close this, create vertically, cd exploit. Okay, cnvlp 4444. So we are running 4444 because in our reverse shell payload we had entered 4444 as the L port, local port, okay, listening port. So we'll enter this reverse ASPX, we'll hit enter and we'll see what happens. And we see in our netcat listener we already have a shell, we just do who am I, and we are in the system as a user web and we do ipconfig. We get the configuration, we get the IP address, we are already in the system, right? We check for system info. These are the common things we do first, right, in the system. So we check for system info and we get this host name, Windows machine, and all this present. So first what we'll do is, I just want to show you all quickly how the web browser was loaded. So we'll go to inetpub. Okay, we'll do dir. Okay, so that means, see, I was trying to guess the files, right, earlier. I was just trying to make a dummy this, that inside inetpub, probably we are hosting the web browser. But I was kind of wrong because I just wanted to explain you guys how it actually works. So I'll just show you which folder it actually consists. You know, this particular file consists. So if you go to www root, and if you did dir over here, that means that we were in this folder over here, www root, and inside the init we were in this directory over here. I'll just show you all that. See, this thing is same as this thing over here. Okay, literally the same thing. So that means we are present inside this particular folder over here, and FTP was for this particular folder, like inside this folder. So all the contents present inside. So we were for this folder itself. So we could not go back. We were limited over here. So this is where our web page is loaded. Okay, so we don't need this information now. We probably can go back. We'll check if we can get a user flag. We'll go to cd users. We have the user Babis over here. So we'll just try and go to Babis and it says access denied. So we cannot probably go. We need our user, we need to escalate our privileges to enter this, both the users, like the root and the normal user. So first thing what we'll do is we'll just go to Windows, CD. You can work in the temp folder, it's better. Okay, so we'll just quickly do system info again. it gives us all these information. It says that there is no hotfixes installed. Hotfix basically your patches. Nothing is installed over here, no patches at all. And it gives us some information about the x86. That means the 32. Okay, it says over here, this is the family, but the system type is x86, that 32-bit system. And it gives the build number as well over here. So let's just quickly take this, copy, close this. I don't think we need this anymore. And just paste it over here. Okay. Oops. My bad. Why is it not loading? For some reason it took consider it as an IP exploit. Okay. So as soon as we search for exploit over here and we get this first exploit from exploit DB, and we'll just quickly look at it. It says afd, dot system file local privilege escalation. So first thing is always learn to read what the exploit is about. The first thing it always mention, remote privilege escalation, or your remote code execution, or local code execution. Obviously not local code, but local privilege escalation, something like that. And it says sometimes like authenticated remote code execution. So that means authenticated, that means you need a valid credentials or access to a user, then only you can use that exploit. So over here it says local privilege escalation. That means only when I'm present in the system, since I'm already present in the system over here, okay, so only then I can use this exploit, because it says local. Okay, if it says remote, then I don't need access to this. Probably I can exploit it remotely, like from my Kali machine as well. Like from here, I'll try and run some exploit and I can exploit it, something like that. But it says local over here, okay? So we'll just go through this. You don't have to go into much detail. You can probably read over here. It says that it is a kernel exploit, and it somehow does not validate things properly in the AFD file. And if you pass the input, so you can probably run the commands as system. Okay, so this is a kernel exploit, and I don't think I could find any other way to exploit it elsewhere. If you guys know, if you guys already found it, how to exploit things, the other ways, then please do let me know as well in the comments below. So the other thing is, in order to run this exploit, see it mentions over here, you need to have a login credential. You don't have a login credential, that's fine. You're in the system, that's more than enough. It just says that you need to be locally present in the system to exploit. Okay, and then later on you check for the exploit. No, it says that how do you compile it. You'll be compiling using this Ming32 GCC. So you require this Ming32. You can quickly go and check Ming32 GCC install Kali. That's it, and probably it will give you some search result. You can go and check how to install it. I already have installed it in my system, so let's just quickly go and copy this, and we'll just create a new document which says like kernel exploit. Okay, exploit.c, okay, it's a C file. Sorry. So I've copied it, pasted, and we'll just look at the compiling again. So I'll just quickly take this, copy it. I'll go over here and I'll just probably paste it over here as well. So now we see how this compiling actually works. So don't always copy and paste and run if see what happens if you try to run it like that. It's because it says that no such file or directory. So even if you come across this, you'll understand that okay, this particular file over here, it's not present, right? So you need to delete this, and you need to enter the actual file name what you gave. That is kernel exploit.c. Okay, over here, same thing. Oops, see, I made a mistake again. It's actually this. Okay, and we'll be using this. This is the tool which you probably have to install, and then we'll be giving the file which is present, and we'll be giving the O switch for the output, and we'll be renaming it this file to this thing, and we have to give this ls232 switch because it was mentioned in the exploit, right? So we probably have to give that. So okay, so press enter, and it literally did not give you any error. So why is compiling important? Because when you compile, okay, so I'll just quickly show you all how compiling works. So in order to compile over here, we'll be writing a small script which says printf subscribe. Okay, so it says something like this, and when you try to do printf and you try to do printf over here, and sorry, just print, not printf. So that means it will try to print this, and the output will be as kindly subscribe, right? This is the best scenario which, because I have written the syntax properly or something like that, and then it will try and execute. But what if, why compiling is important is because when you run the script, probably you didn't give the printf command correctly. You get printf. So the system will look at what is printf. I don't know what printf is. It's not in my dictionary. It's not in my library, so I don't know what printf is. So it does not know. In order that program should not crash, so that's why you need to compile before you execute it. So if you guys may know about coding, I know many of you guys may already know what compiling is, but this is a beginner friendly video series, so I'm just explaining it quickly. So that means you have to compile it so that you know that, oh, there's no error at all. So that means this code can be executed. So now we have compiled it, so we'll just chmod it, and we'll be giving this. Okay, chmod, fine. Now what we'll do, since we have already compiled and chmoded it, so we'll just quickly check over here. Okay, so now we'll be starting an SMB server. Okay, so we'll start an SMB server over here which says sudo impacket SMB server, and then we'll be giving the directory name that is shared, that's it. And we'll give the so the directory name is basically what we'll call for. We'll just give a name. Okay, so probably you can give anything over here. I can give it as nuts as well, and just the directory where your file is present, this file, okay, where you want to host it. Okay, I'll just do one thing. I'll save it in this SMB folder. I've created another SMB folder just for SMB, so we'll use that directory as over here, and we'll give that directory. So that means you're using sudo, you're running the impacket SMB server, it's a tool present in Kali already, and you're giving the shared drive name, because this guy, this Windows system will try and connect to your network using your IP address, and then it will use a shared drive name, and it is, you're giving the directory which drive you want to share. So I want to share this SMB directory, this directory, so that means only one file. Okay, so I'll just do this, I'll hit enter. You have to run it as sudo if you're not running your system as root. So okay, so quickly what we saw was that we tried and uploaded a file over here, that is our reverse ASPX. Okay, so we uploaded this reverse ASPX file in a FTP, and what we did was from our Kali we tried to access it, like, from the web browser over here. So once we did that, it actually sent us a connection, that is a reverse shell, as the user web. So we had the connection as a user web. Now once we are into the system, right? So we are in the system as web. Now we are trying and sending this one file over here. I'll just quickly show from SMB. We are sending a file that is ms 11046.exe. Okay. So in our SMB server, we are sharing a file, okay, using SMB server, and we are sharing this particular file over here. So that means we are sending this over here. So from here, Devel system will be calling for this file actually, and then we'll get this file and we'll try and execute it. Okay, so let's just quickly go over here and try and download the file. So for that, copy the file basically. So for that, first we'll use a copy command. We'll give the target where the file is present. That means it is present, and we have to give the double black backslashes. Okay, and since it's Windows, so backslash, and we'll be giving the directory, not directory, sorry, the IP address of our attack machine, because we saw over here we need to get it from Kali, right? So attack machine's IP address is this. Now we will not give the port number, obviously. We will be giving the shared drive number. So what we had entered over here, that means it was mutated nuts. Okay, so we'll be giving that. Mutated nuts, okay, and then we'll be giving the directory where you want to save it as. So I want to save it in C Windows. Okay, firstly, sorry, my bad, mutated nuts, and then the file name which is present over here. Okay, we'll give that, and then we'll give the directory Windows temp. I want to give the file name as this. It's saying copying. It's taking some time. Oh, I think I messed it up over here. That my IP address. So this is not my IP. Actually, it's 20. I don't know why I've written 80 over here, but for some reason I messed it up. My bad. We'll just quickly go. Okay, cd temp. Okay, so we'll just quickly. I don't want to write this again, so okay. So now we got the connection over here. It's saying that it needs some file. Probably try and take some time. Yeah, one file has been copied. Let's just dir, and we see that we have the file over here. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just quickly. Okay, my bad. Let's go and execute this again. Okay, I just pressed Control C, so by mistake instead of Control Shift C. Okay, so we have this present over here. We have this particular file. Let's use this, try and execute it. Okay, let's see what happens. So now I'll just quickly show you all first who am I, and then now we'll try and execute this. We'll do who am I, and we are in the system as system. Okay, so this opened the shell inside the shell. So probably if you go cd, go back, cd users, cd dir, cd babis, we are in the system. Okay, because we have access to babis now. Dir cd desktop. Yeah, okay. So we have a user text present over here. We can probably go and type, just press type user text, and we'll get the user flag. And then we'll go back. And since we have access, so we are in the system as system, so we have this system access over here. cd document. Oops. And you can type the root flag as well. Okay, so what this did was we are present in double shell, okay, like child shell probably. I know it sounds a little weird, but I'll just quickly show you all. So what is happening is that first we were in this, oops, wrong shape. So first we were in the system as web user cmd, okay. So we were typing all the commands over here, okay, we were typing some few things over here, and then we gave this ms11.046.exe. We executed this file, okay. So what did this thing do? It created another file, okay, another shell, sorry, another cmd command inside that, okay, and this was as system. So it was as system. So now whatever commands we executed, like admin and everything, it created a mini shell. Okay, from it was this main big shell first, then it created a mini shell. And then once we exit from the system, we'll come back to the same parent shell. So consider this as the parent and this as the child, like same as the directories, okay, whichever directories are present over here or something. So consider it as that. We came into a system shell and then we got our access. So now what I'll just quickly show you all. So who am I? I'm still a system, right? So I'm still in this particular shell over here, the green shell, the small baby shell. Okay, so I'll just do exit and see what happens. So it looks like it tried to execute all these things and exiting system shell. So that means now we'll just quickly do who am I. Oops, I think the system froze for some reason, but we came back to our normal shell. So the shell went away and it got deleted. This thing also got deleted, and we came back to our normal shell again. So this is what the baby shell was about, and I think the system froze for some reason. So yes, though this is what the whole exploit was about, and the privilege escalation, we obviously used a kernel exploit. And the main thing about FTP, it was relatively easy box and not very difficult, and not difficult, I guess. So hope you guys like the video. So if you guys liked it, give a thumbs up and kindly subscribe for more interesting videos. Thank you.